but it is going to start recording. If anyone has any issues, well, tough shit. No.
Too late now.
Oh, well, we've already opted in. No opt out.
No, this was about a year ago, I guess. I ran a game of Starfinder, and I did this and put it on my YouTube page, and everybody liked it. Like, it's a nice little memento. Plus, if we ever went like a couple of sessions, quick, easy reference, just listen to like a little 20 to 30 minute blurb on it.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, pretty much this first one, we're just going to do really just character creation. Just kind of knock that out of the way because that can take a little bit of time. And but that being said, if y'all are, I mean, you guys all seem down to it, we could probably meet up next Sunday as well. For I don't play terribly long because we're all adults. I know that unfortunately with these kinds of games, like 3 hours is pretty much the asking price. But I'm saying maybe an hour and a half or two, just a little bit, just a little bit of time out of your week.
That sounds great.
Now, that being said, if we happen to go longer, that's cool too. Half of us have drinks too.
I've got a bunch of I've got the paint water for my brushes right here.
Commit, Tyler. Yeah, that's how you get good at painting.
Okay. Real quick, just to go on a diatribe. Tyler, have you drunk from it yet by accident?
No.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I'm asking for trouble because one of my metallics cup is a coffee cup, so it has a handle. So I realize I'm on borrowed time a little bit, but this is a ramekin, the main one I'm using.
Oh, dude, my regular one is one of those Citadel mugs. Just because I just wanted one. I wanted one that said Mephisto on red.
Oh, this is for the figure painting stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I've pulled Tyler into the fold. Samuel is not far behind.
I bought Justin some of the Citadel paints he does D&D figures and stuff, but nothing is like, yes, I hear you, baby, but it's not anywhere near as involved as all the that Warhammer. It's intimidating.
I'm choking on the detail. I'm still like way into baby step mode. Still,
gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Very humbling.
We will not turn this into a miniature painting thing, but I will say this. With what you can get. What you can get your dear sweet husband. Citadel's good. Vallejo is also really good.
Mm-hmm.
I had not heard of that one.
Yeah, Vallejo.
Okay.
Do not, under any circumstances, get him acrylics from Walmart.
He started out with those, yeah. And
it looks really glossy.
Like,
it's the same paint they use in their sweatshops.
Dude, like, okay, so way back when I first got into it, when Shauna first got into it, she was one who ended up kind of getting me into this whole thing. I'd painted like 2 D&D minis before, and I was just like, well, you're going to need the high quality stuff. And she was just like, look, I've painted on canvases before. I know what I need. And she did not know what she needed. She did not know what she needed. It looked hideous. But it was great.
Live and learn.
Yeah, and those figures aren't cheap either.
Yeah, I never thought about that. If you really goober one up with some horribly atrocious paint, can you fix it? Can you just give it in some
for it? You can strip it.
You can strip it. You lose a little bit of detail with the model, but I mean, like, I mean, unless you're painting for competition, it shouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, as for the game, though, just so you guys know, this isn't anything super fancy of a game. I know at least 2 of you are at least vaguely familiar with like White Wolf and like Onyx Path games and stuff. For you, Sam, all you need is pen, paper, character sheet, and a big handful of 10-sided die.
How much is a handful? You said a handful is like I've got 5. Is that a handful? You
could get by with 5. Okay. That thing is packed with literally 76 dice. You do not need that. I've been playing this for a very long time. I just happen to have a bunch of dice. You do not need that many. A handful, like 5 to 10, that should do. Just if you think you'll have to roll a bunch, just make ticks on all the successes you've rolled.
Right.
More than 2. More than 2 is all you need.
Okay.
I have 1.
I left my
so I need more.
I can go get them if I need to, but
Yeah, I figured I'd start with 5, and if I needed more, I could always just pick them up because they're cheap.
I mean, we won't really need them today, and I mean, like, I got dice rolling apps on my phone. Like, there's actually an official Onyx Path dice rolling app, which I don't think it costs anything. You can buy like special, like pretty dice for like money. I got like some cool looking, like dice for when I backed Changeling the Lost back in the day. Like, they're like, hey, instead of paying $2 for this, have it for free. I was like, cool. I'll never use it, but thank you.
It's cool to have it just in case, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. It might come a day when I need to roll a bunch of digital dice, and I'll be thankful that I could have done it anyway, but I can do it with pretty dice now.
Pretty.
And unfortunately, I have to do this all Spartan because my actual Chronicles of Darkness book, I realized, is in storage. So I had to pull a PDF up on an old rickety phone of mine, but don't worry, we shall get through this.
I have faith.
You're saying a digital copy is doing it Spartan. That's the
right.
state that we're in now.
No, I'm saying this phone is Spartan. This phone I bought at Walmart 3 years ago. It's cracked. It's a Samsung. It is just garbo. But I love it, and I'll never get rid of it because you never know when you might need like a little PDF.
A burner, man. It's a burner.
Exactly. I might have to do some kind of drug deal one day.
When we start dealing drugs.
I didn't hear that. Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got to be careful with what I say. Actually, if I pay Tyler enough money, I don't have to be as careful with what I say. Right?
You'd actually tell him more so that he can protect you.
We're all rooting for you, Tyler. You got this.
So I was looking through these merits, and there's a metric fuck ton of them.
There's okay.
So many.
Think of it this way: like, however you want to focus on your character. Like you might have noticed, like they're broken up as well as the like mental, physical, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the best way to look at it. Like if I'm like, if my guy's kind of like big and brawly, or maybe they're bookwormish, like you might want to focus more on like the mental stuff. That in like merits, they're not quite like super abilities. They're just little perks more or less. But like I said, just one or two, because like I said, yeah, there's a bunch of them, and you got to spend at least, I think, 7 points off the top of my head. You got to spend 7 points worth. And like I said, we're all going to be kind of like doing all this kind of together, so that'll kind of help as well. Like while I'm focusing on like maybe Sarah, you can look at the merits a little bit for what you're maybe scoping out for your character, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, how's about we go ahead and start in on that? First off, quick summation. We'll start with eeny, meeny, miny, Sam. Tell us a little bit about your character, Sam.
So his name is Jeb O'Neill. He's a native of Stonewall. As I put, I think in the group or the group message, he has ambitions to kind of go off and leave the town, but I've kind of decided that like he's had to stay in the town. He had to kind of drop out of high school, never completed high school, to work at his family's hardware store because his dad fell to some sort of illness. So as his mother is tending his father, he has to run the family hardware store to pay the bills for the medical bills. He has no other siblings, and so he's just kind of stuck in the town that he doesn't want to be in, that he grew up in, even though he has an adventurous heart and all that. And so with that, he's learned some tools of the trade. He's pretty handy. It sounds very much like, and intentionally like, someone that the two of us, or I guess all of us, we're all from Fan County.
Yeah.
That's like that.
We each know at least 2 people like that.
Right. And so that's why I was like, what would it be like, if I was one of them? So that's kind of the thinking behind is if Fannin County-ian or Stonewallian, was like that. So yeah, so he has adventure spirits, but it's kind of wearing on him, and he's kind of just losing hope after being stuck here for I don't know, he's probably been there 7-ish years. It's probably about like mid-20s, mid to late 20s.
Boy, he's well, I certainly hope adventure doesn't find his way to him in these upcoming stories.
Oh no.
Okay, Sarah, how about you? What's the elevator pitch with your character?
Okay, so my character is named Beryl Blackankle, and she's from a couple counties away, but still in the relatively rural part of the world.
Do we have a name of that place? I'm all about world building.
Jefferson, after Jefferson Davis.
Just nothing but the really deep south is what we're going to be.
Actually, here in Virginia, there's a Jefferson Davis highway that runs through the next big town. That I just could not fucking believe how many towns were named. Shit was named after that, and then also like kings and stuff. So, go fucking
Lord.
figure.
Lord.
But so she is
Jefferson County. I like that though.
So she moved here to go to school. I think she will have been a mass communications major, but just sort of wrong place, wrong time. It didn't happen, and so she's just had to become a townie. And so I'm thinking that she works probably in a bar, since if it's a college town, there's going to be bars, and there's decent money to be made, if not great. And she has to start working on repaying those student loans and stuff. Has a family back home, not super close with them, brother who lives in Atlanta, and she's proud of that at least somebody's not a fuck up. So, and that's really it right now so far.
Okay, cool. And Tyler.
Yes.
What do we got?
So my character's name is Jacob Adams. He's like a hair shy away from hitting 40. He's a native of Stonewall. Absent mother, grew up to a opioid addicted father. Pretty much was like kind of that kid who was smart kid but was born into the wrong household. Didn't do anything to really foster his intelligence other than just making him want to get out of Stonewall. So he had a few good teachers, encouraged him to go to college, made his way into law school, and then, as is common with a lot of law students, he was full of idealism and decided he wanted to be a plaintiff's attorney to take on big pharma because he was getting sick and tired of seeing how the opioid crisis was growing and taking out families much like his. But then the second stage is that idealism began to get snuffed out when he realized that money bought power and corruption, and no matter how many cases he won and how many strides he seemed to make with public policies, there was always going to be one politician that could be bought out, and the problem just never seemed to go away. So after practicing in Atlanta for a number of years, he sold his law firm, gave it up, and decided to come back to Stonewall. Toned down his means and became a public defender. And he's been in Stonewall now for about 5 years as a public defender. Very, very much trying to live like a minimalist lifestyle. Much as he was doing as a plaintiff's attorney, as a public defender, he's trying to be a voice for the voiceless. But he's also at a point now where more and more nihilism is starting to creep into his existence. So he's got that war of the idealism if he's trying to help people, but as age and just enlightenment for the world is starting to take its toll on him, he's starting to just become burnt out about everything. So.
Okay. I dig. We have quite an eclectic group of people all living in the same apartment, which we'll get to later. Not in the same apartment, but
this is getting a little sitcom-y there.
Okay, since we got that, we'll follow this step by step by the book. Next would be anchors, which, if you don't know, the basic concept for that in the game is it kind of helps flesh your character out a little bit, but it's also a way to regain willpower, which is more or less the currency in the game. Like you, as just basic humans, you're going to be using willpower to push through on pretty much everything, like aiming better, ignoring wounds if you happen to get hurt. Willpower is really, really, really versatile. warding off supernatural abilities, you can use a little bit of willpower to that. Like, it's not a guarantee, but it gives you a little bit of an edge. More so once you guys actually start becoming actual, like once I actually fold in the rules for hunters, you get a little bit more variation on that. But this first one, like, we're just going to be following just the core rules in the Chronicles of Darkness book.
Sounds good.
Yep.
But in terms of anchors, they're called Virtue and Vice. You can probably figure out what they mean. It doesn't necessarily like. Honestly, you could use Tyler's character, Jacob. He could use like his virtue could be like ambition, whereas like if Sarah's Beryl, like she could totally put like ambition as her vice. Like that's pretty much how that works. It's just pretty much like a greater goal you're striving for versus something that's kind of holding you back in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's easier to like, and every time you achieve your virtue or your vice, you get willpower. It's a lot easier to get it through your vice than it is through your virtue, though. But if you manage to do it through your virtue, if you get all of your expended willpower filled right back up, like you just went above and beyond, and you get rewarded for it.
Okay.
Whereas vice, all you got to do is like act on it per scene, and if I think it's worthy of it, then yeah, absolutely, you get that point of willpower back.
Okay. So.
Okay.
So, yes, Sam.
Okay. I was just wondering if this is normal for the whole Skype thing, the video to be cutting in and out. Is that pretty standard?
Oh, is it me?
I don't know. Like maybe it's just me, but like three of you all have been like rotating on my screen. I don't know if it's or if it's even more stopping for.
Like moving
might be
around
something
like
with
that.
wrong with your hardware.
Okay, probably me then. All right, never mind. Let's keep going.
Yeah, because I'm in a tiny little corner up on the top, and then it's clockwise, half of the screen, Tyler, then upper right, Sarah, bottom right, you.
Okay, that's just me then. All right, sorry to interrupt. Continue with Virtue and Vice.
That's fine. That's pretty much it. That being said, since you dared to speak out of turn, Sam, I'm going to start with you again. What would you say is Jeb's virtue? Like, what's the higher ideal he goes for?
So that's what I was kind of struggling with before we started. I spent the last like hour or so trying to kind of flesh out those things after I was reading, the Virtue and Vice. And so, like with his, I guess, kind of adventurous like spirit, can that be a virtue of like wanting to, I don't know, experience the world, travel, get to, culture himself? Can that be a virtue that he like relies on in those times?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I don't see why it necessarily has to be like a one-word description. Obviously, brevity is the source of wit on that. But I guess, wanderlust. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. That's
wanderlust or inquisitive.
So that's what I was kind of hoping
wanderlust is probably better. Yeah.
Because I was like, what's the word that kind of sums that up? Yeah, I didn't even think of wanderlust. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I would go with maybe wanderlust or inquisitive, but both of those kind of take it in different directions. Like wanderlust, like he wants to get out and explore. Like he values that more than anything else. Whereas inquisitive, maybe he's just like, he has just an innate desire to find knowledge. Like, it's always going to be an itch in the back of his mind.
Yeah, I feel like for him it's more wanderlust because the like part of his disparity is coming from the fact that he's like tied to this area and he wants nothing more than to be like relinquished from like that, put an anchor that's holding him like in the town, which is his sense of like needing to take care of his like family, which maybe that's the virtue. If he like feels this like greater need to provide for his parents and his own sacrifice of like what he wants, his goals, hopes, and dreams.
Honestly, you could probably switch that around to where like his to make it really challenging. Like maybe his virtue is wanderlust, but his vice is family.
Yeah.
Like essentially, like to his own detriment, he will put his family first.
Right.
Now, that being said, that could be very circumstantial. Like if something's not necessarily, like maybe You know what? Maybe we can make that a little bit more broad, and maybe his vice is actually loyalty. Like maybe he's just incredibly dedicated to people. Like, if he likes you and he's like, you're worth my time, he'll help you out to his own detriment, even if he knows it's going to get him in trouble.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we'll run with that then, because that's kind of like how I've kind of, I guess, thought about him, but not quite put words to it. So yeah, we'll run with that.
He's definitely got the country boy who wants to get the hell out vibe going.
Yeah, he's a good
He's
old
his own
boy.
worst enemy.
Yeah. All right, Wanderlust, and then Vice is loyalty.
All right, Jacob Adams, what do we got?
So for his virtue, I put like underdog advocate. So I don't know how you would want to spend that, like champion or just advocate. Specifically for people that are like underdogs.
Honestly, I kind of like the idea of champion, because it's still broad enough to where, like, you're not pigeonholing yourself in a situation that you could not that you might not ever actually see. But yeah, maybe a champion of justice.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that.
And for his vice, I was trying to. I just put keywords here just to kind of like spark. I put like loneliness, but I was thinking more kind of like how his nihilism might be playing into, like, remember the hermits from the old edition? Like,
oh yeah,
he kind of just doesn't really. It's not that he doesn't care about people, but he's not like edgelord lone wolf. Like, I can do this myself. It's like he just kind of doesn't really care about forming bonds with people. I mean, considering his upbringing and how he's kind of had to do things by himself anyway. So he's very, very hesitant about doing collaborations with other people.
I think nihilist would be pretty well on that. He sounds hopelessly cynical.
Yeah, which he's a public
funny.
defender, Chase.
Point.
Yeah. So,
what a happy group of people we have so far.
Chronicles of Darkness.
Right.
Point. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, this does not have to devolve into just a misanthropic wank fest. Just so you know, yes, the game is generally about like facing horrors and stuff like that, and maybe going crazy. But it doesn't have to necessarily be the doom and gloom kind of stuff like that. But anyways, or it could be if y'all are having fun, like getting your angst out once a week. This can be the therapy session.
Therapist Chase.
Right, Chase the therapist for free even. All right, Beryl, what do we got?
I think her virtue might be patience. As somebody working in a bar, I think you kind of have to have. There's always people who want to come and talk at you, right? You just have to listen and kind of go with it, and also just trying to bide her time. Figure out how she's gonna, what the next step is, but she's not trying to push the envelope, because I guess she's probably seen a lot of people who left out of college, went off to the big city, and then just completely crashed and burned and had to go back. And so at least now she's on her own, not back home, and so she's just trying to take it one step at a time.
I dig that. Patience. I like that.
And then the vice I was thinking about is maybe cowardice. Not necessarily like run away from stuff, but maybe not super facing problems head on, more like avoidant. So I feel like she might be the type that, she's sort of long fused, but once she reaches her breaking point, if she's fucking done with something, just, she may have packed up all her shit in the middle of the night and just left her roommate or her partner or whatever, if she was just fucking over it. So, I don't know if cowardice or like avoidance or how exactly one would want to put that, but
I kind of like cowardice. I kind of dig that. Okay, so a little bit of something else. I mentioned a little bit of this to Sam, and it's also in the it's also in the character creation stuff, I think, and in the general rules. If you guys didn't read up on how you gain experience on this game, it's mostly through role playing. Like the system is built around it. You like dramatic failures, botching a roll, gets you what's called a beat. 5 beats equals an experience. You buy things with experience points. But if you botch a roll, you can. If you fail a roll, you can actually opt in to turn it into a botch in order to get that extra experience. But it's a dramatic failure, which means I get to have fun at that point. You get that extra beat, but it comes at a cost. There's also like status elements in this game, conditions. A lot of those have little criteria that you can get. And I'm bringing this up because you mentioned cowardice, because there's actually one that's kind of tied to that. Okay. Like if you get if you get something happens and you get hit with like the status element of spooked, it doesn't necessarily do anything in game other than maybe gives you a little bit of role playing prompts. However, you can get rid of it and get a free beat if you basically do something that puts the rest of the group at a negative advantage. Like if you go investigate a noise away from everybody else, or if everyone else is getting attacked and they're going to die and you're just like deuces. Your character gets an experience point. I mean, they get a beat on that.
You only get ahead in life by fucking other people over.
Exactly.
Yeah, just coming your worst motives or worst feelings.
Oh yeah.
What was this about being a misanthropic wank?
You feel scared, so it behooves you to actually follow through with your fear and cowardice.
Or you could just go investigate the spooky noise by yourself.
I love how we're using Scooby-Doo as the hypothetical right now.
Every time I play D&D, if they try to split the party, I always say, don't.
Oh, this game encourages you to split the party.
So much player anxiety.
So,
okay.
So real quick, I wrote another real quick aside, and then we'll move on back into character creation. So Scooby-Doo. Mm-hmm. I was reading something. So in the old show, all those old like Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf and stuff, all those movies were canon. All those movies were Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and no one else in the rest of the Mystery Incorporated. It was just those two, and they saw real monsters.
What?
Yeah. Now imagine they go back and hang out with Fred and Daphne and Velma, and it suddenly makes sense that they're terrified that real monsters exist.
That's amazing. So good.
I didn't know there was such a deep dive.
We got the deep Scooby. We got the deep Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, they've had to be bad trip, but no, they've seen the real dark side.
Yeah, the Vincent Price 13 Ghosts. No Fred, Daphne, or Velma.
It makes so much more sense now.
They're probably just like, that dude and his dog are freaking crazy. Okay, so attributes. Pretty much your core stats. How strong you are, how smart you are, how sociable you are. Hold on just a second. Let me pull up the sheet on my phone.
real quick, Chase, if it helps speed things along, I've already filled out most of these.
Look at you!
Yeah,
look at you!
If you want to spend more time with Sarah or Sam on that, then.
Well, actually, do you guys have yours filled out?
Yeah, well, I haven't actually filled it out, but I have a little note card where I've written everything down, so I don't want to fill something out incorrectly. But I have everything that I think I want and goes with my character chosen.
Well, that's cool. We'll use. And you were saying, Sarah? Sorry, all three of us speak loud.
You're fine. No, I had a couple merits in mind, but I hadn't because I wanted to bounce them off you before I build toward those.
Yes.
So,
yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll do the attributes for now, but we will get to merits pretty soon. But we'll use Tyler as an example real quick. So pretty much, what do you got, Tyler? Pretty much, what is it?
So I'm looking at the hunter sheet. We've got power, finesse, and resistance as categories. I had 5 points in finesse, 4 points in power, and 3 points in resistance. So in finesse, I've got 3 dots in wit, 3 dots in dexterity, and 2 dots in manipulation.
Okay.
For power, I've got 3 dots in intelligence, 2 dots in strength, and 2 dots in presence. And then resistance, I've got 2 dots across the board for resolve, stamina, and composure.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me check something real quick. Because, let's see. Come on now, let's see. Oh my lord, I know it's here somewhere. Sorry about this, folks.
Okay.
That's all good.
He's looking for lightsabers in his coin jar.
Yes.
Need sugar
And they're all
chili.
stuck together. They're all stuck
Oh,
together.
okay.
Lemon, lime, and copper.
Mm. Delicious.
Okay. Okay. Cool. One thing, Tyler. This might have thrown you in as a little bit of a loop on that. So, pretty much how you're supposed to do it is you see how like intelligence, wits, and resolve is like lumped together, and strength, dexterity, and stamina is, and presence, manipulation, composure.
Yeah.
Those right there are pretty much how you're supposed to do the 5-4-3 thing. Is that how you did that? Oh, whoops.
All right.
That's fine. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the way you were saying, I was like, hold on a minute. Okay, so
It is a little confusing in the book, like looking at the Chronicles. I had to sort
Okay,
of go back
so-
and forth and go, what are you saying here?
okay, I'll put it this way: Chronicles of Darkness. That book is the best written thing that White Wolf or the Onyx Path has ever done because they have this problem. It's okay, Tyler. We'll be able to fix it easily enough.
Yeah,
But,
I'll get a pencil.
But like they usually have this big problem of packing their books full of lore, and it makes it impossible to find anything. This is like it's 2 chapters of pretty much explaining to you how the rules are, but okay, so pretty much, Tyler, pretty much how this is going to be, and with the rest of y'all. So you're going to notice like intelligence, wits, resolve, all of that involves your brain. Strength, dexterity,
Yeah.
stamina, all that involves your physical attributes. Presence, manipulation, composure, all that involves like social stuff.
Yeah.
With your character, you pretty much pick like 1, 2, 3. You know, 1 being the most important, 3 being the least important. So, like, of those 3 stat blocks, Tyler, which would you say your guy is more of? Like a smarty pants, a big, strong.
Probably put 5 points in intelligence, wits, and resolve, I'd say.
Okay, yeah, and it's pretty much you. Of those 5 points, you fill 5 dots on that.
Yeah. All right, I think I can do this now.
Obviously, the more dots you have, the more dice you add to a pool. So if you have 2 dots, you add 2 dice to every roll on like involving like whatever that is. So if you got like 2 intelligence, you add 2 dice to that intelligence roll.
All right, so I'm going to do then 3 dots in intelligence, 3 dots in wits, 2 dots in resolve.
Okay.
Moving over, I'll do 3 dots down the board, strength, dexterity, stamina. So just 2 dots in each.
Just the average kind of fella.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna put, let's see, 1, 2. So I'm gonna put 2 dots in presence, 3 dots in manipulation, and 2 dots in composure.
Okay. And as a little aside, Tyler, that being said, that power, finesse, resistance thing that actually can come into play on certain things, but they do word it weirdly.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, no worries.
some monster types get like a bonus. Like if you play, I think a werewolf, you get like an automatic +1 to any resistance thing that you want.
That would
something
make
like that.
sense.
Like
Yeah.
you're tough to bring down.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, how about you? What you looking at?
Maybe come back to me here. I think I'm trying to reverse engineer it, and maybe I don't know if it's okay. Like because I sort of had my merits in mind. I looked at that, but I didn't. So I'm trying to work back from there. If
That's fine. Yeah,
okay.
just honestly think of your character and be like, I mean, start from the basic idea of, is she smart? Is she strong? Is she social? I'm not trying to tell you how to make your character. I would probably say she's probably going to have her 5 dots in the social one.
Probably. That was what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay, but we'll come back to you. How about you, Sam? What you got?
All right, so actually, to clarify, like, not make that mistake, I had to like write mental, physical, and social below to like didn't like do what Tyler did. So I'm putting it's 5 into physical. I'm talking about total dots, including the dot that's already there. I'm gonna have let's see here, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I'm gonna have 3 dots in dexterity.
Okay.
So 3 total. And then I'm going to have 1 dot in 2 dots in stamina, and then 2 dots in strength. So it's right, because a total of that's only 4. Sorry.
Yeah, that first filled in dot, that's free. You have 5 points to spend extra. Like
right,
you're going to get a 1 no matter what. So like if you say like, I'm going to add 1 dot to strength, now you have 2 dots in strength.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be going down the board, including the dot given. It's strength 2, dexterity 3, stamina 3. Right, because that's total of 5 dots that I'm given that I can add. Right.
Okay. Yeah. 2, 3, 3. That right?
Right. Yeah. 2, 3, 3.
Okay.
And then I guess we'll go ahead and go over to let's see. Mental. I'll do social. We'll say social. So this is where I get 4 dots. So we're going to go. Give me 1 second.
Sure. If you need any kind of explanation as to how these would work, I'd be more than happy to tell you. If you need examples.
Right. Well, present is like, as I read it, like it's raw charisma. But is it more than just charisma? Obviously, is it like sociable skills or?
Honestly, yeah. Like, let's say it could be anything depending on what kind of skills you add to it. It could be anything from like, you're trying to rouse up a group to agree with you. Maybe you're trying to intimidate people, or maybe you're trying to pick up somebody at the bar.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It could be any way you want to flavor it. Like maybe you have like no freaking game, but your dude is like just super good looking.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Okay.
Looks play a part,
Right. Oh yeah, that's how it is. Okay. With that in mind, then it's going to be again, including the dot given. It'll be 2 in presence, 1 in manipulation, then 4 in composure.
Mm-hmm.
And then over in mental, my 3 dots will all go into resolve. So it'll be actually no. We'll do 2 intelligence, 1 wit, and then 3 resolve.
Because
it's 5, 4, 3, right?
Yeah. So Isaac, so run those by me again.
Yes. So in mental, it'll be again including the dot, 2 mental, 1 wit, and then 3 resolve.
2.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
So he's steadfast and literate. Just don't like cover your eyes and say where daddy goes.
That's right. Yeah, he's not quick. He
has no object permanence.
He'll finish that 6-pound burrito eating challenge, even if it tears the lining of his stomach.
I like it. All right, Sarah. What you thinking?
All right. All right. Just reading the sheet here for what does what. Oh, I'm in the wrong order here. So mental. That's going to be my second highest. So I'll go with probably 2 intelligence, maybe 3 wit, and then no shit. Actually, there was one that I was looking at earlier, the 2 resolve. But considering that she's kind of cowardly, I feel like resolve is probably not. Probably 2. Let's keep that not super high. So maybe 3.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. Maybe she's like quick to notice danger. which she's not about to participate in.
Yeah, look, all that shit. Strength. Shoot, probably maybe one across, or so 2 across the board. I think for the physical stuff, just use 1 point in each, and then maybe 3, 3, 2 for presence, manipulation, and composure.
Okay, cool beans. Right. I like it. So next,
you know what? Sorry, can I go back? I'm going to change one of my points to resolve, or from resolve to wit, because I feel like if he was that resolve-y, then he would not be staying like in his hometown. I feel like he would have just pushed through. So I feel like if he just level across mental, because like resolve, I feel like is like determination and like despite challenges, like you still push through. So if he's like sacrificing that and not achieving what he wants, I feel like that's not super in line with resolve.
And also bear in mind, character growth is kind of slow in this game, but you can increase any stats later, like through experience.
Right. All right. Then I'll definitely take resolve down and put that one into wit. So he'll just be kind of level and mental. So just 2 down the board.
Okay, cool. Moving on, we're going to move on to the skills. Now, long story short, pretty much how it works is in the game, if I ask you to do something, like throw a random thing at me, Tyler, like say, I want to do this, and I'll cook something up.
I want to pick a lock.
Okay, in that case, I would tell you to pick something from your attributes. In this case, I would probably say dexterity. So I would tell you to roll dexterity, and we'll say larceny, which would be down in physical. And pretty much you would add all of your dexterity dice and any dice that you have in larceny. If you have 0 dots in larceny, you would actually take you would roll no dice and also do it at a -1 modifier, because you just don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Now that being said, I mean, like, that's the benefit of playing in a group, like, a little bit more varied. And from the sounds of it, like, we got a pretty varied cast anyway with the 3 of y'all, so that's going to be good. You'll be able to cover each other's butts a lot, and it pretty much works the same way. Whichever one's your more preferred one, it gets 11 points. Whichever one is your least preferred gets 4, and the middle one gets 7. Now that being said, it doesn't have to line up with what's up top. Like with Beryl, she's got the social stuff down pat. She might decide that her social skills don't have that many points. Maybe she's like, well, you know what? Maybe she's really physically weak, but she's, tried to fight that her whole life. So I'm going to put my 11 points in physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is more your effort versus sort of your natural attributes, or? Yeah,
pretty much. And there's another thing is you also get specialties, which adds an extra dice. So like, let's say Tyler wants to pick that lock, and it is, let's just say off the top of our head, it is a lock from the 17th century, and it's really weird, but his guy is like super into picking locks from the 17th century, and he specialized that. Well, he gets a bonus on that. He just marks it next to it where, they'll say larceny, then parentheses, 17th century locks.
Okay.
It's a thing that it might not necessarily come up all the time, but when it does, you get a bonus. Like, let's say you put points in firearms or guns. I'm not looking at the paper right now, so I forget what it's called. It'd be like, it could be broad. Like, you could be like hunting rifles. Like, you're good with pretty much any gun you come across, but if you got a hunting rifle in your hand, you're going to be really good at it. You get a bonus for that. And let me see if there's any like throttles on that. Let's see. 1 dot means 3 dots. Okay, cool. There's no like cap on that. So if you want to put one at 5 dots, you're welcome to. That being said, that's like on your top one, that's already half of your dots gone. And we will start with Sarah.
Oh, no. Okay.
Don't be scared.
Okay. I mean, Well, it's such a different system that I'm so used to D&D.
Oh yeah, it's a different system from D&D. That being said, it is a very flexible system.
It is. I can
Right. It
attest
seems
to
like
that.
more story driven rather than maybe sometimes other stuff. So
Yeah, and it could be something, and like let's say like with the social thing, let's say intimidation. You could use your presence in that, like maybe you're just a scary looking dude, or if you could convince me, like the GM, like you know what, I want to add my strength to that. I want to freaking like bend this steel bar because I have the dots for that.
Mhm.
You could do that. You roll like you're like you know what, I have higher strength than I do presence. You could do that. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room to try and get what you're trying to come across in the game.
All right.
Like there's no set combination. There are obviously some that work that you're going to use more than others, but it's there.
It's not gonna be like D&D where it's like roll for initiative.
Yeah.
Although you do have.
But I do
initiative
that
roll.
like
Yeah.
every couple weeks.
And
Right.
just so you know, what is the initiative roll? It's down here somewhere.
It's based
It's,
on your
dexterity,
Dexterity
right?
plus composure.
yeah, your dex plus composure plus whatever a D10 rolls.
Yeah, I
Do
have the
roll for
initiative.
initiative.
I have the initiative of a nihilist. I'll say that.
I have the initiative of
It's all
running
bullshit
away.
anyway.
So, oh, okay. I'm just trying to like, I don't know, think about these in character terms. Like, well, like how academic am I really?
How about this? We'll go across the board and start with everybody's highest rated one, the one they think is like their highest one. That way you can think on your lower skills a little bit later.
I think I'm gonna do social as my higher. I'm just gonna lean into that strength there.
Okay.
So, socialize, I probably would like at least a 2.
And don't worry about declaring specialties just yet. We'll get that after everybody gets their skills.
All right. Let me do 2 in empathy. I'll do 1 in intimidation. Let me do 2 persuasion. 2 socialized. 1 streetwise.
Okay.
And does that how many am I?
Let's see. We got animal kin. We got subterfuge. How good a liar is she? Empathy. Does she paint a lot?
No,
that's expression. That's expression.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me do 2 expression.
Okay.
All right.
Slam poet it is.
She's got her beret, her glasses. She looks like Judy Funny.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Sam. Which one would be your highest?
It will be physical.
Oh, okay.
Physical. And so, okay, weaponry is just general weapons, right? Not firearms, but just general weapons, correct?
I believe so.
Melee weapons, like
Weapons.
pretty much anything from a pocket knife to a freaking centuries-old broadsword.
Right.
Brawl is fighting with your fists.
Right. I'm trying to think. I don't think he's going to be a big brawler. So I think, let me see here. Don't write this down yet. I'm going to talk aloud, and I might, after I put it down, I might look not right at the name.
I'm not writing much right now. I'll re-listen to all of this and jot it all down later. I just got mostly character notes that I think would be interesting to screw with you guys with later.
All right. Okay. So I think I'm going to do. Let's see here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, and then maybe I'm sorry, someone's texting me. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is 1 in brawl, because every country boy needs to know how to fight. Also, every country boy needs to know how to drive a truck, so we're going 2 there. 2 in firearms, And with, if you're a hunter, you have to have some level of stealth. So we're going to do 1 in stealth. Then we're going to do 4 in survival. And then 1 in weaponry.
She's like Eric Rudolph here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's only 10.
Shit.
Oh, it's only 10. Oh, hot dog! I get 1 more. We'll put 1 more in. We'll put 1 more in weaponry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. No, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, okay, I was right the first time. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. 1 in brawl, 2 in drive, 2 in firearm, 1 in stealth, 4 in survival, and then 2 in firearm, 1 in stealth, 1 in weaponry.
And the good thing about the rules, as is written, 1 dot in drive means that honestly you can drive a vehicle with 0 dots, but 1 dot in drive means you can pilot a helicopter. Tyler, you're
That's
next.
what 1 dot means? You can fly a helicopter with 1 dot?
Now, that being
So
said,
is 2 maybe an astronaut?
Now here's the thing. They do allow for
5 dots. You can pilot a nuclear sub by yourself. With no
I don't think that's possible.
No, okay. Now they do say. I always thought that was a really funny example. They do say, the circumstances for that should be like unusual. Like, if you're playing a game where helicopter flight comes in regular, why are you using this system? But they say sometimes in movies, when the people are trying to escape the monsters, sometimes somebody just happens to know how to pilot a helicopter.
You could be on Nakatomi Plaza's rooftop. Oh no, yeah.
But yeah, if you guys need to escape via a helicopter.
Oh, gee, okay, that's all right. No, I'm taking 1 off that because I just read what 2 dots get you, and that's way overkill. I never need that shit.
But more realistically, like, if you're in a high speed chase or anything like that, if you're being pursued, that's where your drive comes in.
Right. And so like I'll take with 2. I'll take with 1 dot then because I just read 2 and it's like can fly pretty much any private aircraft. It could possibly. I'll probably fly a commercial jet in a pinch. If you just really need to, you can fly a 747.
I'll put it this way: at no point will you guys ever come across a helicopter.
I'm sad.
Disappointing, but yeah.
Interesting.
It will be possessed. It will be attacking you. If you try and sit in it, it will just eject you into the propeller blades.
End of story.
All right, Tyler. How about Jacob? What's he got?
Yeah, so I've got social as being my big one with 11 points. I've got 3 in empathy. Mm-hmm. Just because to me it seems like canon-wise he's going to know how to read people. 3 in persuasion because he's a public defender and he's literally has to talk a good game to bring bread in. 2 in socialize. He's pretty much adept at being able to talk to just about anybody, also considering his job and upbringing. 2 in streetwise because of his upbringing and also kind of the nature of his work. Like, he doesn't have to be a bad boy, but he knows gang member slang, terminology. It's just kind of part of the job. And then 1 in subterfuge, kind of also the fact, like, either just by the trick of the trade, he knows more than the average person of how you can hide shit and keep shit from being known and seen.
Yeah, he might not necessarily need to lie. He just needs to know how to not tell the whole truth.
Yeah, he has Clark literally has kind of like a +1 knowledge of like how people keep things hidden from other people.
All right. Back at the top, Sarah. What's your second highest one?
So my second highest is going to be mental, and I think I'm just going to do this. Maybe it's unadvisable. I think I'm just going to do 1 on all of them except computers.
No, honestly, that's
nice.
perfectly fine. You can totally be a jack of all trades, master of none.
That makes sense with a bartender too, actually.
Yeah,
especially in a college town.
Who the fuck knows what kind of majors you're going to have to listen to?
Yeah.
Totally very interesting.
Okay, cool. I like that. Sam, what you got on your second one?
All right, so I think I'm going to do actually mental for my second one. So he's going to have 3 level of crafts. He does work at a hardware store, so it makes sense that he
like that.
Is highly adept. 4 seems like a little too much for what would be possible for a young man, but so yeah, he's highly adept at that. And then being in this small town. Folklore comes with small towns and rural areas. So he's got 2 dots and occult. And then
he has seen at least one Sasquatch. I like that.
At least one confirmed sighting.
Go to the Sasquatch Museum, though.
He has an annual pass actually to that. And then I'm kind of trying to figure out where to put my other 2. Because I don't like computer at all. Academics. Oh, I was going to put one investigation. Because I feel like he's.
I think that's like good old boy kind of common sense. Like just kind of sees things as they are without overcomplicating them.
Right. But the last one,
I'm gonna throw 2 things at you. You could do computers, and here's why. I did not know this until fairly recently. Most farming equipment nowadays is loaded with computer chips.
Oh, that's true.
In America, most of your pirated software is hacked stuff to make John Deere stuff run.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
That's awesome.
So that would not be out of line, or since he's clearly a woodsman, medicine. He knows that he can field dress a wound if need be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and that kind of goes with survivability.
And like gutting a deer and stuff like that. He would know basic anatomy if he ever needed to carve a body up.
That's so happened. An animal body. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's basically the same as a human.
A pig is. So wild hog, human. What's the difference? Long pork. That's all it is. Just long pork.
It's like he swears what he killed and gutted was a Sasquatch. So.
Even though it spoke English. Anyways, all right. So it's 3 in crafting, 1 investigation, 1 medicine, 2 occult.
Okay. All right, and back at the top, the weakest one.
So I think that's going to be physical. Yeah, well, obviously, we're here at the end. So I think I'm going to go with 2 in athletics, just because that's the prerequisite for the fleet of foot merit. Being able to run the fuck away, literally.
No, that's great. I love that.
And I'm going to do 1 in brawl, just because working in a bar, you have to know how to at least be aware of bodies in case people are going to get rowdy. And then I think 1 in stealth, if for no other reason, because she's probably had to get away from creepy dudes trying to follow her.
I like that a lot. Jacob, what do we got with yours?
Let's see. So my second one is mental, 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 in academics. He's a well-read guy, but he's not like a full-on nerd. He doesn't like.
Oh, correct. Did I not go for your second one?
No, that's fine.
Oh, my bad. Okay, go on. Yeah,
that's all good. 2 in academics. He's pretty well-read, but it's not like he's got nothing but TED Talks on his iPhone or something. I've got 3 in investigation, because again, kind of goes with the job. And even before he was a public defender, he had to know how to sue big pharma, so he had nowhere to look for shit. 1 in politics. He works in the local government, kind of knows a few names, kind of knows the gist of it. And then also 1 in science. Also for the fact that just by the trade of having to be an attorney, he had to, if anything, know how to put evidence on, know how to talk about it and sell it to a jury. So he's got some good knowledge of it. Doesn't practice it so much as just from an occupational understanding of it.
Okay. I dig. I like. And your weakest one, I suppose.
Yeah, physical. So again, trying to go with the canon of the idea that this is a guy who had to kind of grow up and take care of himself. So I've got 1 in athletics, 1 in brawl, 1 in firearms, and 1 in survival. The athletics, brawl, and firearms is going to be more from the fact that he took some defensive classes because he knew he kind of had to take care of himself because he was suing some very powerful people, and he's by no means a martial arts master, but had some friends that were cops. He knows how to take care of himself. If anything, if he's in a 3-on-1 fight. Firearms, we can talk about equipment later, but he's always kept a 12-gauge shotgun around. He knows how to use that. That's like a mainstay he uses for like defense, especially considering the clientele he's representing and wanting to protect himself if they're following him home. And survival, that was more from the fact that he grew up in Dogwood. Like, at his heart, he's still a country boy, and he can get around the woods and, survive for a couple days and not starve to death or die of thirst if it came down to it.
Okay. And Sam, did I get Jeb's weakest?
No, not yet. So, trying to figure out where the last one goes. I think I'm going to put it in intimidation. So I'm going to have one in animal kin, one. Excuse me. Ooh.
Bless you.
So yeah, one in animal kin due to his, survivability and being out in the woods and being a backcountry boy. He could probably walk up and pet a whitetail probably. And then we're going to do one intimidation because there's a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for? Show-offiness or standoffishness that he has. And then one socialize because he has to be able to small talk at least decently. And then streetwise, there's one in that as well. So
he knows where to get a good bit of weed.
Right, yeah, a little known fact, country boys love pot, so he knows where to get some pot or shine. He knows how to get a shine.
All right, I like it. Now, rolling right into that, this one's easy enough. You probably already thought about it. 3 specialties.
So how is that divided? We get 3 specialties. Is it 1 in each category? Or can you put 3 in one category?
If you want, you could put all 3 into one scene. Yeah, like if you wanted to be super awesome at 3 different types of guns, you could put all 3 of them in guns. I would not recommend that, but you can divide them up any way you want. Okay.
Let's see. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm gonna put one specialty in empathy. Byline that he can tell if someone's like lying. Like he's got a very, very gifted lie detector.
Yeah, just write in empathy parentheses lie detector.
Okay, let's see. Okay. I'm gonna put let's see. I'm gonna put a specialty in investigations. I'm gonna say like document review. Like he's really good if he's just got like a stack of papers and finding a pattern, like in printed documents.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know how you want to label that. Like
document review. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
If it comes up, we'll just hopefully we'll remember what that specifically entails.
But that could also be like maps or anything printed if he sees an accumulation of it, I'd say.
Okay, like good at recognizing patterns. Pattern recognition. There we go. Just put that.
And then I'm going to put his last specialty in brawl. Just again, kind of the fact that it's like he took some
Drunken Master.
I'm going to say it's like Krav Maga, like initial form you would like teach police, like Krav Maga, something a very utilitarian form of like self-defense, like Aikido or anything like that, like a very
nothing
pragmatic.
Crazy like Krav Maga, Russian Sambo, freaking any of the armed forces ones, any of that stuff.
Yeah, like how to deliver like a blow and get the hell away from somebody.
Okay.
So.
Just hit up the MMA gym once in a while.
Yeah.
MMA and CrossFit. He's that guy.
Because he's not a strong guy and he's not intimidating. So it's gonna be like one of those like when the shit goes down, how can he get himself out of it and move on?
And bear in mind, it can absolutely be something that you just have a single dot in. It can absolutely be that.
Yeah, that's what I've got for Brawl. So
Okay. That being said, with Brawl, it does say that you like it's not necessarily like a fighting style, but like maybe like a specific technique that that would come up. What would that technique be? Like, I guess in your term, like you said, like landing a blow and escaping.
I would say like something similar to like maybe something similar to like an Aikido, like a blow deflection.
Okay, yeah. Honestly, yeah, you can put that. Just like just if blow deflection. If something's coming at you, you have a better chance of getting it away.
Right.
Always reliable pocket sand. Country boy. Let's go with Jeb. What you got with your specialties?
All right, so I got for crafts, carpentry. So anything wood related. He's got a real knack for that. I mean, great precision in his joinery. He can make a dovetail that you can't even tell is a joint.
That also means that he can recognize stuff with carpentry as well.
Ooh, okay.
Like if there's anything that comes up and like if you need to know what this was made out of, you'd be like, can I use my specialty on that? But yeah, sure, absolutely.
Cool. All right. So then that, and then you saying the thing about medicine, got me thinking it's like like WIFA, like wilderness first aid. So like medicine, like especially is improvised things. Like great, I need to make a splint out of some sticks in a sweater. Good. Like you can't do stitches, anything like that, but like securing a patient when you don't have what you need, that's a specialty.
Yeah.
And then the final one is in survival, and it's just traps. So I guess maybe could be recognizing as well as like making or like detecting.
Yeah, honestly, you could put that as broad as traps. Like you're good at noticing them. You might not be like super awesome at making them, but you're better than most people at your skill level.
Okay, dope. So it's just 3 total, right?
Yeah, just 3.
Okay, so those 3 are my specials.
Okay, and Beryl, what do we got?
I think I might go with occult. I feel like she might be the type of person that like in high school was into like neo-pagan shit, and like so maybe now she's still kind of interested in that despite being generally skeptical about stuff. Kat, what are you doing here? So I don't know what we call that. Like,
let me think. Also, this is why I brought it in as a chat. If anyone else has any ideas, like you're welcome to bounce it off.
I mean, you could do something like empathy, specializing with like sob stories if you're a bartender.
Oh no,
that was socialize was probably going to be one of mine, and/or empathy. Yeah, so those were.
I don't know what you'd call it though.
Yeah.
And in terms of the occult thing, honestly, you could put neo-pagan. Like that'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if someone's got any collection of crystals, they're gonna be like, "Hey."
Oh yeah, that's
They bought this at the Barnes and Noble.
Well, she is named after a crystal. She's named because I met our lady in real life whose name was Beryl. And she's like, it's because my birthstone's an emerald. And I was like, I'm gonna steal that idea. It might be
Oh
creepy.
my gosh.
I was thinking Sailor Moon, but that works too.
I mean, yeah. Either way, gemstone related. And empathy, yeah, listening to people, listening to sob stories, it's obviously a perfect sort of like on the nose, but possibly useful, right? So
I'm trying to think how we could phrase
like
that.
a taxi cab confession.
Yeah.
Just get people to talk about stuff.
mm-hmm.
You know what? I mean, if you can find a way to fit in there, yep, shoulder to cry on.
Okay, all right. And then probably socialize, and since we're in a college town, like dealing with college kids and or bros. I'm not sure.
Bros is my specialty.
You know what? Yeah, it's bros.
That's awesome.
If we can encounter any bros, I got them. I got it, boys.
She knows all the Chads, all the Bodies,
Oh my
all the
god.
Trevors.
Oh god, no. Unfortunately, too many incels.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like a pop collar walks in and the hairs on the back of her neck just stand up, and she doesn't quite know why yet, but
It's because he's Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. That's most honestly that's most of like the heavy number crunching, but now we got to get on to the dreaded merits. So, who wants to go first?
I'll take a stab at it. Just yeah. So if I'm understanding the system, we get 7 dots all together to disperse through the merits, correct?
Right, and you might see some
Okay.
that it says like it's like a 2 dot. I don't know what that was, but it's got like a 2 dot merit. That means like if you buy that, that means you now have 5 merit dots to spend.
Okay. So I think I did this right. So I think my first one is Table Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember the lore or the fluff behind it is he's very much able to take, taking a vocal situation and flip it on its head to his advantage. So very negotiating driven. He's got to be able to like think on his feet and, as the name implies, like flip the fates as need be. Fixer, I think that's 2 dots.
Mm-hmm.
That was a much more proactive skill where, if I read it correctly, it was you're able to take like someone's fuck up and basically rectify it in some way. So someone who knows someone, or you possess certain knowledge or know-how of how to get it rectified, which to me is literally the epitome of what a public defender does. I think that was 2 dots. I got Quick Drawdown.
Is this Mike? Is his name Mike Ehrmantraut? I just need to know.
Yeah. He has a fuel.
Breaking Bad,
Oh.
Sarah.
That show was too sad for me.
There's a really sleazy lawyer in that show who has a fixer who is the best guy. Like, he really is.
He's one of the best characters.
He's got 3 fixers, actually. One of them's Bill Burr.
Yeah, one of them's Bill Burr.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that until after the fact that I watched the show. But anyway, sorry, go on. Okay,
yep.
Fixer and
I've got 1 dot in Quick Draw just because he's had this like 12 gauge shotgun for so long. He knows how to very quickly dispense with it if he needs to.
Okay.
Think Richard Harrow from Boardwalk Empire.
That's a good show too.
Yeah, I got 2 dots in CQC because that was the minimum, and that kind of also fell in line with like all of his prowesses have been like how to deal with shit in tight spaces, like the hallway of a courtroom, an alleyway, a parking garage. He knows how to use the environment to his advantage. And then I've got 1 dot in improvised weaponry. That kind of took a dark turn of like him growing up around junkies and having to learn how to use like ballpoint pens and umbrellas to defend himself from like his dad's like bros coming over.
Fuck.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Gnarly.
and I mean, the fact
that.
too, if he's in an office setting, it's like he might have to grab like the name tag off his desk and chuck it at someone's head if he needs to.
I mean, not to get too modern day political, but I mean, like, we do live in a mass shooting society.
Yeah.
Could be handy
Yeah.
in a place where you were working around criminals.
Yeah.
And if you read like in some courthouses, if you read drills, they literally the slogan is run, hide, fight. And for the fight, they literally tell you, like, if you can only grab a fire extinguisher to spray him in the face, do it. If it's a chair that you want to throw, do it. Like, use anything you can get a hold of.
Dude, that's what they tell us in the military. And, like, we're trained to kill people. And, like, they're just like, run. You don't, unless you're at the armory, you don't have your weapons on you anyway. Just run.
Yeah. Even
Jesus.
civilians get that training where it's like, like, try to hide, try to get away, but, like, if your last, chance is to try to get in somebody's face, then fuck it.
So that's what I guess I'm doing, and I think that comes out to 7 dots.
Yeah, I just counted them, and I'll go back and recheck these, make sure they add up and everything. And one other thing. Go on.
We real quick, and if I was doing this correctly, you did not want us to touch at all any of the supernatural stuff, correct? Because I totally good because I glossed over that purposely.
Me too.
Yeah.
Also, there is something in this game. It's called the Sanctity of Merits. You might notice that a lot of these merits they could be potentially story based. Like, let's say your fixer gets taken out. Well, you suddenly have those 2 dots that you spent and you can't use them anymore. the way the game's set up is those you get to put those somewhere else. Like you still get like even if you've bought extra merit points through experience, like if you happen to lose any of them through the story, you get to stick them somewhere else. Ideally, try to have it make sense. Like in the book, it gives an example of like, let's say you have a loyal companion, and it's this old golden retriever you have, but something nasty eats the golden retriever. Well, you don't have that golden retriever, but what if your character, after losing his dog, took that point and put it in a safe house so that he could have something in case the monster comes back? Like it's at no cost to you.
Golden retriever.
Yes. Yes. You get a new merit, stuffed golden retriever.
Did you go full John Wick or fake John Wick rather?
Oh my god.
But yeah. So yeah, if I end up absolutely loving this fixer and like, you know what, I love this guy, he must die now. You get those points. So don't
Cool.
Don't yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I was really going to say on that. But yeah, as for the supernatural stuff, maybe later on if you guys want to work that stuff in, but like starting off, you're just regular Joes.
Mm-hmm.
I think like with the Hunter Reckoning system, they even then told you, and they shied you away from starting characters out with all these abilities. Like you had to really play the game a long time before you started getting razzle dazzle.
Oh yeah, and like with this one, I mean, if you guys wanted to, we could have started it at like what's considered the upper tier. It's not like more advanced. You just have you have access to superpowers basically, or like super awesome weaponry. But I was just like, you know what? Let's take it down a notch to a bunch of people who are in way over their head and they don't really know it just yet.
I just need my letter opener and my crippling depression. I got all I need.
You gotta be careful with that because sometimes you try it on yourself, right?
Just need my sharp object and my Xanax, like Grandma. Anyway, so Beryl, what do we got?
So I'm looking at. I definitely want Fleet of Foot. That's 2. I'm gonna do 2, sort of go middle of the road there. Maybe she did track in high school just to piss off her hippie mom or something. So I'm gonna take Barfly 2, which is, I mean, pretty again on the nose, but I'm just sort of
no, that makes sense.
And then I was thinking about
how many dots is Barfly?
It's 2.
Okay.
As well. So, and I was thinking about Common Sense, and that one's 3 dots.
What is it again?
Common Sense.
Oh, Common Sense.
So, yeah.
Isn't that the one where you can basically ask me, be like, hey, is this a good idea?
Yeah. What's the worst choice? What do I stand to lose? What's the safest choice? Am I chasing a worthless lead?
Okay. So. No, I like that. All right, Jeb, what we got?
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out them all, but
That's
the
fine.
ones I know for sure. I want Eye of a Stranger, which is 2. Let's see here. I'm writing them down. That's let me read it so I don't totally butcher it. Essentially it is hold on. Tip at the top. Basically, while they don't have like good, totally like full breadth of knowledge of the supernatural, like he can see something like is up, right? So he can see like something's just not quite right, and so like he has an idea that something's wrong. So with his like learnings of occultish stuff and folklore. That's where that comes from. He can recognize, like, I've heard this in a folk tale before. So that one's one of them. Stranger for 2. I'm going to do... Oh, shoot, I forgot to write how much down Staff was. I was going to do Staff because he does run the hardware store, so he does have Staff as part of...
Put an asterisk by that. I want to know some of the names of some of the staff. You can hand that to me off the grid later, or through group chat, because that's people that I get to play.
Okay, awesome. All right, names of staff. Let me find where that is. Sorry, this is holding us up a little bit.
55, 54, I think. Okay. At least on the PDF I have.
It's probably the same. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so that's the amount, I guess. You get to put however many you want. For every dot, choose one type of assistant, one type of skill. All right, so I'm gonna give him one for right now. We'll give him two. He's got a manager of the store. He's got a couple managers. We'll do that. He's got a couple managers of the store.
Say 2 managers.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge hardware store. I like that.
No. It's a small thing, and of course he's considered a manager, even though he's the operator of it as well.
One other thing. None of you have put it there, and that's perfectly fine. Resources. That's technically your finances. Having 0 dots in resources does not mean you're homeless. Pretty much what I said. It does not mean you're homeless. What that generally means, it's like if you got 0 dots, that means you're getting by pretty much. Like maybe you drive an extremely nice car, but that's the way you're living below your means. Like maybe you got like a shit ton of student loans or something like that. Like you make a lot of money, but you're also paying a lot of money as well. Like you don't really, like you're not homeless unless you specifically say, I want to play a homeless person.
Mm-hmm.
So just figured I'd throw that out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good because I read that. I was like, resources. Like, oh no, he don't have money. All right, so then I'm going to do. I'm not sure exactly how to distribute the last little bit of points, and that's why I'm not sure. I think I'm going to do 2 into status because he's a community figure. He's kind of a fixture in the community, and people recognize that he has like sacrificed what he's wanted to do to like take care of his family members. So he's respected in the community as like, wow, he's like he's a stand-up dude. He runs the hardware store that's been there for decades in his family, and he's like taking that over. So he's a community figure. The O'Neills are a community name. And then my last one is the one I'm kind of struggling on. So if I could wait and let you know, that'd be awesome. But I can figure something out if you want
That's
to know.
perfectly fine.
Now.
Okay. And honestly, the last thing that we have to do is just a little bit of math to round out the rest of it, which isn't too bad.
Quick note, Chase, on your suggestion. I'm going to replace quick draw with resources with 1 dot.
Okay.
Now that I'm like reading the actual like description of it a bit more, so.
Okay. But yeah, I was just thinking because I noticed I was like, wait, no one has any dots and resources. I don't want them to think that means that they're homeless.
No, okay, I'll have 1 dot in that just to.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna add my final thought into. It's gonna be
resources.
No, I wish. Actually, going to be mentor because one of the headcanon things I forgot to mention is that his survivability came from his father, like teaching him carpentry and like the survivability of like the outdoors until he fell ill, which he's no longer able to do. But I feel like that's still worth putting at least 1 dot into mentor.
What's his dad's name? Putting you on the spot there.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it. Oh, his dad's name is Franklin O'Neill. Do I like that? I don't know if I like that.
No, that's fine. Frank. Everybody in town knows Frank. I like that.
Okay, Franklin. Yeah, let's put that down so I remember.
Okay. Pending anything else involving merits.
I think that's yeah.
That's been
okay.
all mine.
We will move on to the last little bit where everybody tallies up their willpower, which is equal to your resolve plus your composure.
Your resolve plus your composure.
All right, so I got 4 for my willpower.
3, 4,
Okay,
5,
let
6.
me pull up a character sheet. Okay, so pretty much how that works is you fill out however much willpower you have, you fill it in the dots. So if you got 4 willpower, that's 4 dots. And when you use them, you just put a slash through the box. And when you regain it, you erase that slash. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Your health is your stamina plus your size. Everybody is size 5, so because no one took the unusually small or unusually tall merit. So, yeah, 5 plus whatever your stamina is.
7 for me.
Okay.
I'm a broad 8.
Works the same way as willpower, except there's a little bit of caveat. This should be familiar to Tyler from back in the day. Sarah, you might know a little bit of this. Health works kind of weird from like D&D, Sam. You don't have hit points. In your case, you're going to have 8 boxes, okay? And if you get, let's say, punched in the face, or you fall off a high ledge, or something that, it hurts, but it's not going to like kill you, pretty much, you take what's known as bruising damage. You put one little slash through that box. And once that gets to you only have like 3 boxes left, you start taking negative modifiers to your actions because you're in pain. You're in a lot of pain.
Okay.
So you got bruising damage. You also have lethal damage. If you get shot or if you get stabbed, that's lethal damage. That can get really nasty really fast. It fills up a lot faster. Any bruising damage that you have, it pushes it over. So if you have 2 bruising damage and then someone stabs you for 2 more lethal, that means you have 2 lethal and 2 bruising. This is explained better in the rules. I'm just giving you like the quick version.
Right. Yeah.
Then there's aggravated damage. Aggravated damage is really nasty. Aggravated damage is done by supernatural means almost always. A better example, if you guys were like playing vampire, sunlight would do aggravated damage. Sunlight bad for vampires. In your case, if like a wizard spell gets cast against you, it's going to hurt you on like a spirit. It essentially hurts you on a spiritual level. And again,
psychic damage, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like psychic damage, like anything supernatural, like certain animals, supernatural animals' claws will do aggravated damage. It's just really nasty stuff. They all heal differently too. Bruise damage heals like every 15-ish minutes. Lethal damage takes like 2 days to heal, just 1 block, and aggravated can take up to 2 weeks. If you got like a track full of aggravated and lethal damage, you're not in a good way. You're going to be out for a while, and once everything's full with aggravated damage, you dead. You just dead. There's no coming back from that. So you're kind of squishy in this game. Bear that in mind.
Yeah, well, I like that.
You're extremely squishy. Let me rephrase that. Okay. Health, willpower, size equals adult for humans. Defense. Defense is the lowest of your dexterity or your wits. Defense will get into combat and stuff like that. We'll worry about that whenever you guys get to it.
Plus athletics.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, dexterity or wits plus athletics. If you don't have any dots in it, you don't suffer a negative. You just don't get it. Yeah.
Lowest of dexterity or wits.
What's up, Tyler?
3 for me.
Okay.
It's the 2 for me.
We're here.
Okay, so the cowardly one is the most defense worthy as well. Okay.
Plus max speed, strength plus.
Yeah, and your initiative modifier is your dexterity plus your composure plus a D10. I'm not going to make it super complicated. I think the official rules is you have to roll for initiative at the beginning of every turn. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to take up everybody's time with that nonsense. That's crazy. Let's see. Speed is strength plus dexterity equals 5. Write it down. I'm not really going to be playing. Most of it's going to be theater of the mind. I'm not going to be playing on like a grid over here or anything like that. I might keep a few dice here and there for like rough placement. But yeah, if you want to know where you are, just ask me. If you want to know if you can make it there, just ask me. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
All right. And finally, starting integrity is 7. Those conditions I mentioned, those status elements and conditions, that's where integrity comes in. The higher your integrity is, the easier it is for you to resist those things. Like, you're just not going to get them. And some of them aren't necessarily like beneficial. Some of them like types of madness. Those are conditions, and they don't go away. The lower the integrity you get, the more susceptible you are to those kinds of things. And like, it's essentially you just start becoming just more and more jaded. Once we start rolling into like hunter proper, I was telling Sam this: hunters with extremely low integrity run the risk of essentially becoming superpowered serial killers, and other hunters, they gather together to put them down because they're dangerous. Like anything from like Jason Voorhees to Jigsaw, any one of those.
Okay.
Holy shit.
All right.
So yeah, if your character starts going crazy, by all means, there's actually a book in the PDF collection I sent you guys called Slashers. There's rules on how to turn a hunter into a slasher if you want to keep playing that character in the group.
That's awesome. That's cool. Total freedom.
All right. That's pretty much it for character creation.
Okay. Size, speed,
We need to do, I guess, looking at like armor or weapons or gear or anything like that. Do we have any homework for that?
I mean, obviously there's rules in the books for it, but my thing is like, you can start off with stuff like within reason. I mean, I think I was telling Tyler, it's not terribly unreasonable in the deep south for a character to have an AR. I will allow it. What amount of good an AR-15 is going to be doing against ghosts and goblins? Well, you guys don't know that. I do, but but I mean, it is it's not inconceivable. Just like if you're going to be playing like a doomsday prepper, maybe not. But like just run it by me, and we can flesh that out. Your shotgun, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I actually have the stats for a shotgun. If you want me to send those to you later.
Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, availability. I think, you meet the basic. Like there is an availability requirement, but I mean, if you guys are just hankering to have a gun for your character, just talk to me. We can probably justify it one way or another. But,
do you have a limit, like with the weapon and the attack sheet that I'm looking here, like a limit on how much we can already start being equipped with starting out? Like, I'm not gonna like fill like grenades in my pocket or anything. I don't.
You don't have a full armory.
Yeah.
I got a samurai suit.
Boy.
It's one of those chintzy ones you buy at a mall kiosk.
Oh, exactly. No one knows I have it. I only put it on when no one's home.
He's just walking around with a bandsaw and a long extension.
Like the hilt of your katana has like what is clearly a European dragon on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Commemorative Highlander katana I got. Christopher Lambert's autograph is inscribed on the blade.
But I'll put it to you this way: with the guns, that I got written down, no submachine guns. Come on. Yeah, like assault rifles. Pretty much the only assault rifle that's legally allowed in the United States, no matter what politicians say, is an AR-15. And there's rules for it, so there's that. And that being said, the availability is a little bit more difficult. It's going to require an availability of 3, and I'm probably going to stick with that. Walmart just recently tightened down, so it's a little harder to get one. That's true, by the way. But
really?
Yeah, yeah. But I will tell you this much right now, Tyler. Do you have a strength of 3?
No, just 2.
Okay, what that means is you can use the shotgun, but you will do it at a -1 modifier.
Oh, okay.
There are strength requirements for weapons.
Okay, well, interesting.
You also will get a -4 on your initiative when you use it. Dude, pretty much all weapons give you a negative modifier.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Because
what about like a handgun? Might switch the lore up for
38 special.
No, like a 40 cal or a 9mm,
Honestly, yeah, you could get a Glock. There's no negative modifier. It doesn't do as much damage, but Because like, here's the thing about a shotgun. Yeah, you have that, but you also have what your attack rolls use 9 again rules. You know, how I told you like if you roll a 10, like that 10 counts, and then you get to roll an extra one and see if that one counts. Yeah, it does it with 9s and 10s with a shotgun.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
But the strength requirement for a Glock would be 2.
Yeah.
What about for like a hunting rifle? Because I was thinking that. Well, because I was like that kind of fits. You know, he just has like one gun and just his hunting rifle.
Yeah, like a 30-06.
Yeah, 308. Something like that.
Yeah. Strength 2, -5 to initiative, but you got like crazy range and stuff, and it does like a lot of damage.
Well, that's what I mean, just take out a dirt.
Do you want a gun too, Sarah?
I think the most I would have is probably like a baseball bat. I think.
I like the baseball bat.
It's very bar keep.
Real quick, I'll tell these guys the stats for their chosen weaponry. Obviously, I mean, yeah, George. I mean, if you got an open carry permit, I mean, I'll allow it. But I mean, like, let's see. You gonna go with the rifle, Tyler, or the Glock?
I'll go with
shotgun or the Glock.
You know what? I'll go with the Glock. Just I think that might fit the fluff a little bit more.
Okay,
so Glock 40 cal.
Just write damage 1. That means like no matter what, if you roll a success, it's at least going to do 1 damage. Okay. Range 20, 40, 80. Past 20, you start like doing like negative modifiers and stuff. Clip 17 plus 1 in the chamber.
Yeah.
Initiative plus 0.
Okay.
Strength 2, size 1.
Okay.
All right. And hunting rifle, damage 4. No matter what, you're doing 4 damage. Ranges 200, 400, 800. Clip 5 plus 1. Initiative -5. Strength 2. Size 3.
All right. So it's 200, 400, 800, you said?
Yeah. And that's covered in the book as well. I'll read up on that as well. And let me pull up the... hold on a second.
What page are these weapon stats on, Chase?
They are in the... Hold on a second. I was looking at the stuff I wrote down. They're in the very back in the appendices. Let me...
The Hunter or Chronicles of Darkness?
Chronicles of Darkness.
Okay.
It's in the very back, like past the God Machine Chronicle.
Okay.
Page... let's see. 268. Equipment.
268. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Melee weapons. Let's see where baseball bat would roughly fit. Like it, most of these, like they're kind of broad strokes, like, but it's like a kind of a catch-all. Let's see. Not a shield. Sure they got like a mace or something. Crowbar, tire iron, shield.
Yeah, it's weird. I was looking on here, and even like the type, they talk about how a metal club might be an antique mace, metal baseball bat, a hammer, but I don't see like metal club on this list.
Yeah, baseball bat. Oh, it's like, which one did they say that?
So under type, like this is underneath the chart, it says that a metal club might be an antique mace, a metal baseball bat, a hammer, while a hatchet might be a metal cleaver or an antique hand axe. And I'm sitting here going like metal club, and I don't find it anywhere else.
I'd be willing to bet that's probably in some kind of errata. We will go with we'll go with the stats for a baton. Why the fuck not? Damage, initiative -1, strength 2, size 2, availability NA because they're easy enough to find. It's a baseball bat.
Okay.
Holy shit, I'm looking at this. They let you use a chainsaw.
Yeah, I read that.
I saw something even more upsetting because I didn't see this weapon, and I was looking on the other sheets, and then I saw the torture.
Okay, so
and that was very upsetting. I was not ready for that.
Okay, so when we get into Hunter proper, there are things you will be able to learn called tactics. It's basically they're tactics. They're things that you guys have practiced, over and over and over again that, you think would be helpful in the hunt. Sometimes the things you're hunting look and act and behave a lot like people. Sometimes you need to get information out of them. This is where the morally gray area stuff comes in. So if you want a torture suite, go ahead and start planning.
Does that yield bad intelligence? Have we learned nothing from the Iraq War?
It's turned to a Cenobite, Chase.
Yes, you will show them pleasures and pain and sufferings beyond what they can understand.
Oh, so it's shades and not Abu Ghraib.
Samuel, have you ever seen Hellraiser, or have I failed you as a brother in that regard?
In that one regard, yes.
Oh God, we got to fix that for Halloween.
Yes.
That movie, the sequels aren't as good. The first one kind of holds up, though. I think I watched it a couple of years ago.
I watched it last year. I was like, that's still pretty fucking twisted. Pretty bad.
It's like, what if a Rubik's Cube made a sex demon?
The
movie.
I've never seen this, but now I'm interested.
You've never seen
Hellraiser?
No, I actually was a big like chicken shit for a long time about scary stuff, and even now I have to like laugh through it if it's very scary. So I just have to be like, oh, this is hilarious.
It's very 1980s, and it was pretty low budget for the time, but I mean, the story's good. I mean,
you learn a lot about Clive Barker watching that movie. That's
very
I'll
personal
just say that.
narrative. Okay, interesting.
He's a kinky fellow.
He's very kinky and is very into Rubik's cubes. Don't watch. Honestly, no. Let me rephrase that. Watch the sequels. Watch all the sequels. They're so bad. They're so bad, but they're great.
So bad they're good. Okay. All right.
The last official one, like they went into space, and the director wouldn't sign off his name on it and had to write it off as Alan Smithy. It was great.
Wow.
What?
Oh yeah. Oh, do you know about that, Sam? Oh yeah. I'm going to stop recording because we're going on 2 hours at this point in a moment. How stop? There.